Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geenan for SYS-CON TV here at 11th Cloud Expo. Amazing, 11th Cloud Expo. Kevin Brown is with me, CEO of Coraid, and he has been at a few of them too. Kevin, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Fantastic show.
So far, so good, I always say. Coraid had an astonishing show in New York. Let's hope it's going equally well. I've been circulating. I've seen an awful lot of people at that booth. Kevin, what is it you show them?
Well, what we are building is taking all the storage that people have usually had in the enterprise and really moving that over to look a lot more like what Google, Amazon, and Facebook do, much more of a cloud model. And it's a really hot topic. Storage has been really exploding in its capacity needs, and people are looking for something that they can really scale, really tie into much more of their software-defined services. And that's where we come in with a much more programmable layer that can be automated to deliver those one-click consumer-like services, but with enterprise-class storage.
Did you ever think storage would become sexy? Obviously you did. You bet the company on it.
Well, you know, we're just humble plumbers, right? Yeah, we're just coming up from the bottom, but it's turned into a huge problem. So what we think is sexy is taking those huge problems and kicking them out of the way.
And I'm guessing that you have no shortage of customers for that approach, but nonetheless, how do you kick ass in the industry and make sure that no one, steals your lunch?
Well, it's interesting because the company started out in the Linux market and just really started to take off. We now have over 1,700 customers in 45 countries. So what we're seeing is across many different industries, the enterprise customers, the government customers, but now increasingly many of the clouds, they realize that storage is a very strategic layer, and they can't just do what they've been doing in the past, either with the old enterprise platforms or just with roll their own do-it-yourself. They really need to have something that can handle the multi-petabyte, multi-workload, multi-tenant types of workloads.
And if you had to encapsulate, as I'm sure you constantly have to, encapsulate the Coraid approach as opposed to anybody else's, how will we say it?
So what we've done is we take the commodity building blocks, essentially like Lego building blocks, and we scale out to provide massive capacity, but we can be very flexible because we use an Ethernet-based approach, so we essentially look like local attached disk, but it's over Ethernet. And so what this does is it radically simplifies the way that you provision and attach to storage, and this is a perfect fit for these multi-tenant large environments, and it allows us to automate and to tie it in and make it much more programmable. So for the cloud customers, this is essential because what they need to be able to do is to programmatically align it so that with a single click, you can now provision the compute network storage layers and give those to the user instead of making them wait 8 weeks.
And how do you mitigate the security risk? That approach sounds to me like it might expose even more surfaces to problems.
Great question. A couple companies ago, I was building crypto for the intelligence community and putting it into storage environments. We have a lot of the folks on our team that come from that security background. And so one of the things that we get to ride on top of is all of the layers of security that are in Ethernet. So we're doing Ethernet-based storage. So VLANs, for example, have been ratified up to top secret level. And we have our storage running in those classified environments today, and we're leveraging a combination of our security features, but also many of the best practices at the Ethernet layer, the file system layer, and we've actually made our storage natively multi-tenant. So even to come in and start to grab those services, you have to authenticate through Active Directory or LDAP or the standard centralized security framework.
And we've got a lot of scale-out storage players, but anyone else using the Ethernet approach? Is that unique to Coraid?
So it's interesting, most of the storage plays came out of the mainframe world with Fiber Channel, and then iSCSI popped up as sort of a lower end way. No one else has really figured out how to use raw layer 2 Ethernet and do it in a high performance, massively parallel way. So one of the things that we're able to do is to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links and basically combine them into one without having to configure any of that. You just take advantage of all the available bandwidth.
An incredible growth already, and an incredible globalness. Were you expecting that? Obviously you were hoping it, but were you really expecting it?
We weren't, but what we're finding is that people in all sorts of corners of the world have these same pain points. So we've got customers in 45 countries. So we've recently been expanding in Europe. We've got deals in Malaysia and Singapore. We've got deals in the Congo of Africa. It's pretty amazing.
What will lie ahead? Just continued growth, but how are you going to staff up? How is it going to work?
We've been continuing to invest in the team, build out our engineering, build out all of our global presence in many of the different territories. And now what we're really doing is starting to work much more closely with partners. So we've recently demonstrated tying into the software-defined networking layers with companies like Nicira and Big Switch and Arista. We've been tying up into some of the application layers with some of the big data applications so that we can deliver an end-to-end automated sort of service level that now for the public clouds, but also for private clouds, puts them in the position of being able to very quickly deliver services to end users.
I'm thinking a lot of people as they're watching this are Googling simultaneously, trying to get to Coraid.com, see what it is you do. Where should we send them?
Well, Coraid.com, C-O-R-A-I-D, and we'd love to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing for many of those customers. We love working with the end user customers to really help them solve hard problems. And what happens is when we start to do that, we start to get a lot more of their business because we can make it much easier for them to run it, save them on CapEx, OpEx, but most of all, make them heroes for their end users by making it a lot easier.
Fantastic. There you go. You got an invitation. Say that Kevin Brown sent you there himself, the CEO. Thanks so much, sir. Good luck with Coraid. Good luck with Cloud Expo. And thank you for joining us out there on the World Wide Web.